Well, hello again and welcome back. In this video we're going to look at add to cart, right? Adding items to the shopping cart. So the vibe is when people come in, they can click on something, hit add to basket, and it's all going to add it to the shopping cart. And it's pretty straightforward. The key to this whole vibe is going to be a module, and we'll make it right now. This module shall be called Store Basket, okay? So I want you to go into your modules folder here. And we're going to make a module. I'm just going to set this up, duplicate, and it's going to be called Store underscore basket, okay? Store underscore basket. So just like an ordinary shop in real life, you know how when people walk in, they pick up a basket sometimes and they walk around the aisles and all of that stuff, adding things, maybe taking things out of the basket. Well, it's exactly the same vibe here, okay? So it's all going to happen in the store basket, and yes, there shall be a store basket table. So let's set that up as well, okay? The model thing. So here we go. I'm just renaming this class to store basket. All right. And we'll rename this model vibe here. It's so nice to be talking during the afternoon. A lot of these tutorials, especially recently, I've been doing them at night, and I've got neighbours and I have to talk really quiet because, I don't want to wake the neighbours, and I hate doing that. Look at me, I've just made a mistake. Store basket, you idiot. Store basket, that's the one. Okay, store basket, MDL store basket. Yes, thank you very much. That looks good. Okay, now there are a couple of vibes that we need to know before we go ahead and do this store basket business, okay? When people drift around this shop, where on earth is it here? Ah, right, okay, here we go. Here we go. When people drift around this shop, there is a thing called a session ID that follows them everywhere, okay? So we need to know how to get the session ID. It's a kind of a big string of alphanumeric stuff and all of that, and it's going to help us to know who is who. Now, the way that you do this in Codeigniter 3 is a little bit different from in the past. So this is the Codeigniter user guide. And the vibe is just copy along, you're going to be fine, right? On store basket, I'd like you to make a function up called test. And I'd like you to say session ID is, and then I'll paste in the stuff from the Codeigniter user guide, okay? And I'm just going to say echo session ID. Okay, so if we now go to store underscore basket / test C, do you see how we have a session ID? That session ID will be following the user all over the website, and it's going to help us to identify who this person is. But the fun does not end there. There's another thing that we can do to identify people, and it's also going to come in handy. Yes, indeed, it's going to be more than just session IDs as far as we're concerned. So check this. I'm going to do a new line vibe here, and then I'm going to say this load module site security, okay? And then I'm going to say shopper ID. You're like, what? Yeah, well, we have a shopper ID. Relax, it's all cool. Look, I'll show you. Now, at the time, we called it get user ID. But this get user ID is actually the ID of the person doing the shopping, okay? And when I'm on a shopping cart thing and all that, I like to sometimes use the shopper ID. It's a good reference. So that's going to tell us which customer this is, okay? So I'll say you are shopper ID, and then we'll just chuck in shopper ID. So if we jump back to the site, hit refresh, it's saying you are shopper ID, and there's not too much happening. But stay cool, because if we go here and log in as a customer with Rambo Pass, and we log in, okay? And then if we go to that page again, okay, store basket test. Look, see your shopper ID 1. So the shopper ID, the store account ID, the user ID, they're all the same thing, and I'm probably an idiot mixing them up. But nevertheless, creaky chair, creaky chair. If I'm looking at a database table in 2 years' time and I see a column called Shopper ID, it's going to be a little bit more meaningful than User ID. Can you handle the vibe? So that's it. Okay, so we now know some stuff. We can figure out who the user is, and it is fantastic, all that. Now, it is that time, folks. We are going to build the store basket table. Okay, so into phpMyAdmin, we're going to say store basket, and this table is going to have, let me just have a quick think about this, probably about 12. Now we've got 4 here it's giving us, so we'll say something like 12, roughly. And here we go. We're going to have an ID, and that will be auto increment, primary key, blah, 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 all of that stuff, you know. The next column is going to be called session ID. Yes, indeed, Chico, that's the vibe. Now, session ID is going to be a variable character of 32 in length, okay? Next one is going to be item underscore title, okay? Item title is going to be a variable character, and we'll go with 255, okay? Next, we're going to have item underscore, actually not item price, I'm just going to call it price, okay? And price is going to be, let's do a decimal 7.2, 7,2, okay? Now, by the way, if you're watching this and thinking, well, hang on a minute, why are we even doing this item, title, price, and all of that stuff? It's already on the database, right? Why even bother? Well, you see, it's kind of like, how can I put this? The item title could change. The price could definitely change. All sorts of things could change. Discounts and offers and everything, and price increases, who knows what. And that's something that's kind of interesting, right? So we need to lock that down, and that's what we're doing here. We're going to lock that down so that when someone adds something to a cart, then, and if they go and buy it or go to the checkout, then even if the owner changes the details, we're still going to have that information locked down. Can you handle the vibe? I think you can. Now I'm going to add a thing in called tax, okay? And tax, again, I think we'll just make tax the same vibe as price, okay? For this shop, I'm probably just going to leave tax at 0 because it's just a tutorial, you know, let's not freak out here. And then I'll do something like item ID. That'll be an integer. We'll have item underscore QTY, that's the quantity, okay? And then we'll have item underscore color, and I apologize for my UK spelling of the word color there. Let's make color a variable character of something like, I don't know, 70. Oh, 79, okay, well, fair enough. I'm going to make it 70, I'm kind of strange. Right. Accidentally hit a 9. Date added. Yes, indeed. Date added. That's an integer. Then we're going to have shopper ID. Not shopper ID. That's shopper ID. And then we're going to have IP address. Okay, so that is it. And actually, I've added a column too many, but that's cool. Okay, so let's just save that. Here it is. And let me just see, we've got ID, session ID, price, tax, item ID, item quantity. I've just realized we've forgotten one. We forgot to do item size. So let's add that in. I am so sorry. We'll add it after item ID. Okay, so here we go, item underscore size. And again, we'll go with a variable character of 70, okay? So that's the vibe there. Thank you very much indeed. That's the structure. Can you handle it? Is that okay? I think that's cool. Nothing complicated, folks. Nothing complicated. And we are ready to rock. So if we look at the item pages here, you'll see that we've got a nice little thing over on the top right hand side here. And this is going to come in handy when it comes to adding items to the cart, okay? Now, I don't know if you can remember, folks, but that thing is being called from the cart module, and it's a view file called add to cart. Here it is here, okay? Now, we just need to do a couple of tweaks to get this thing doing something meaningful, and here we go. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to, right near the top, I'll say echo form open, and we're going to go to store basket / add to basket. Okay, so we have now set the form location. Of course, we're going to close the form as well. That's normal. So right at the bottom here, echo form close, and that's all very cool indeed. Okay, next, if we look at this first field here, this should actually not be called status. It should be called item underscore color, right? The next field, it should not be called status. It should be called item underscore size. And then for this little vibe here with quantity, we want to add name equals, name equals item underscore QTY, okay? Finally, just before the form closes, I'm going to say echo form hidden, and I'm going to have a hidden value here of item ID. Form hidden item ID should be item ID. Okay, that's pretty much that. Now, if we want to be a little bit paranoid and safety conscious and all of that stuff, which is not a bad thing, we could jump onto this submit button and we could say name equals submit and value equals, the tradition is this. Even though the button doesn't say submit, it kind of just helps to keep things consistent from a form validation perspective. And yes, did he just say form validation? Yes, he did. It's a validation situation. It's a validation situation. So let's open up store basket, folks. Okay, store baskets. And we do indeed, just to show you that this is all working actually, I'm just going to say function add to cart, and I'm going to do a little for each post, okay? And I'll just say echo key, okay? And then we'll just say something like key is value, something like that, okay? So if we go back to this page now, I'm going to refresh. And now I'm going to choose a colour. I'll go with blue, go with size large, which is kind of ridiculous for a guitar. Quantity 3, add to basket. Oh gee, store basket, add to basket. Hold on. Ah, there you go. I've called it add to cart. Sorry about that. Here we go again, refresh. Okay, so everything looks fantasticola. Yes, it is a good vibe. I think you'll agree it is a good vibe, okay? Okay, folks, so what we now have is basically a validation situation. That's the vibe, okay? And actually, I've just noticed something. Let me take this nonsense out. We've got MDL store items everywhere, and that should actually say MDL store basket. So sorry about that, okay? So we're on store basket. It's a validation situation. So let me open up store items if you would. And I'm going to look for a bit that says form validation because we've done this before and it worked quite good here. So here we go. Here's what validation looks like. And I'm just going to paste this in here. And we'll put together the kind of basic form validation structure. So if things are cool, it's going to do some stuff. If things are uncool, it's going to do some stuff. And it's going to check the submit button. So I'll say submit is this input post submit true. Okay, so there we go. That's the basic validation structure. So if we head back to this page here, we can see that we've got a bunch of things that have been submitted, okay? Now, I'll chuck them in here for the moment. I'll take these out in just a minute. It's just so that I can look up and see what I'm supposed to be doing. And you can see that we've got item color, okay? like so. I'll do the validation checks in just a minute. I'll just get the variable names in first. So we've got item size, goes like that. We've got item quantity, item QTY, and I might as well write item quantity, and then we've got item ID, okay, item underscore ID, and item ID. Okay, so that's all we've got, folks. Let's do the tests. When it comes to item color, now everything that we are submitting here is basically a number, right? Apart from the submit thing. So everything as far as item color goes, it's just going to be numeric. That's the only test we need. Same with item size, right? We don't, you know, it's let me just check here. Item size should be numeric. Now hold on a second, I just want to check something. Maybe I'm wrong about that actually. Quantity, that's the HSS in black. Let me just check something, hold on. You know, I've just realised that colour and size probably deserve callbacks because they may be required if the item has a size and a colour, you know. Okay, so what we'll just say then is callback, let me see, size check, something like that. Okay, callback size check, and this colour thing would be callback colour check. Okay, item quantity, well, we need that and it's got to be numeric, so that's required and numeric. And the item ID is also required and numeric, and we could do a callback on the item ID to make sure that they've submitted a valid item ID, but I don't want to get too paranoid. And as a matter of fact, you know what? This is a tutorial and I cannot be bothered, so I'm just going to save some time here, right? We need to move forward with this stuff. That'll do me, I think. So, yeah, that'll do. Okay. Shortcut, shortcut, shortcut. I apologise, but that's the vibe. Should we do the callbacks? Talk to me telepathically. Do you want to do the callbacks? Do you want to talk? Beam it to me. Beam it to me on the screen, man. Okay, cool. I've just felt your energy. You've said that you're okay leaving that, and will you please get on with it? Okay, I get the message. No problem. So the vibe now is I'm just going to say data equals this, and you know, the data is going to be a little bit complicated. We've got a table with a lot of columns. We've got a lot of work to do. And I'll say something like fetch, I don't know, fetch the data or something like that. Is that okay? Maybe something like that. And then we'll just do this insert like that. And I'll just echo well done. Okay. And if everything's uncool, I'll just go echo validation errors. Okay, so that's good. And fetch data, I'm just doing this to keep the code nice and neat. Can you handle that? So let's just build this up. And the vibe with this is it gathers together all of the data so that we can do a table insert. That's basically what this is going to do, okay? Now remember, folks, once again, we do indeed have a very big table here. It has, sorry, that's the wrong one. It's store basket. Look at it. It's got like 12 columns. There's a lot of stuff going on, you know. So I want to make sure that I get this right, you know. Can you handle that? So I'm going to call upon an old friend. Yes, it's our old friend AutoGen. Here it is. At the moment it's living in store accounts, and it's very cool. And we can use this to make things go a little bit faster, you know. So let's just copy that vibe and we'll take it over to store basket like so. Okay. and everything looks kind of cool, I have to say. Everything looks cool. So the vibe is select all from store basket, okay? I'm going to jump on to CI shop, store basket, auto gen, and there's an error at line 185. Stay cool, stay cool. Here it is, it's this comment thing. And there we go. Okay, what a great saver. Thank you, AutoGen. You have saved the day. And once again, you have made our lives very easy. I'll take that out now, I don't need it. And on this vibe of fetch the data, this is what we are trying to achieve. Okay, folks, that's the vibe. Here it is right here. And thank you very much. Now, let's go through each of these, okay? Some of them are going to be dead easy. Some of them will take a couple of minutes, but just relax. We can do this, right? So the first thing is the session ID. The session ID is going to go like this, okay? The item title, well, let's figure out how to get that. We're going to have to load up the store items module. As a matter of fact, we're going to have to load up the site security module as well. I'll explain why in just a minute. And what I'm going to do is I'll say item data is this, store items, fetch data from DB, and it's doing that to the item ID. And the item ID is this, input post item ID, oops daisy, true. Okay, so that's the vibe, and there we go. And by the way, there is no function called get item title. For some reason we never actually built that. I don't know why. So we'll just use this fetch data from DB. So that means that when we come to this item title bit, we can just say item data, item title, okay? When it comes to price, well, I'm going to just say item price is that, okay? And as far as we're concerned, there's also a field called item quantity, by the way, that was submitted, I think, if we go back somewhere. Oh, gee, where on earth is it? I think I'm on this browser here. I'm all over the place. Listen, I can remember this stuff. It's cool. Don't panic. We've got item QTY. I have to confess, folks, this is like the second or third take of this video because it gets a little bit complicated, this stuff sometimes. Anyway, the price is going to be item price multiplied by item quantity. Okay, for the tax, I'm just going to say 0. I do not want involved in tax stuff in this tutorial, but you might need to do something with that, and good luck if you do. The item ID is going to be item ID. The size is going to be something. I'll come back to that actually. I'll indent this so that I can remember. The quantity is going to be item quantity. The colour, again, same as item size. I'll come back to it. Date added is going to be the time. Shopper ID, we know how to do this. Site security, get user ID. Now actually, I'm going to get the shopper ID upstairs here, like this. And you know how if they're not logged in, then it's got a shopper ID of null. Well, that's not too cool. So I'm going to say if not is numeric shopper ID, then the shopper ID equals 0. Okay, so if we go back here, here we go, and it's going to be shopper ID. And the IP address on Codeigniter, I'll quickly check the user guide here. I need to check actually, Codeigniter 3 IP address. I just want to be sure because they have changed a couple of things. Here it's here. I can remember it now. So the IP address, you get that by saying this input IP address. I think that's us, okay? I think that's us. Let me just check that. I'll be double sure actually. I'm pretty sure. Igniter. Yep, that's it. Okay. There it's there. That was the page I was meaning to get. Okay, that's us. So we've now got the IP address. Excellent, excellent, excellent. The only things we need to do to get this completely working is get the item color and get the item size, okay? So I'll build one that's called, let's say, get value. And it will have a value type and I'll have an update ID. Okay, and we'll leave a little note here that says value type can be color or size. Okay, and I'll say something like if value type is equivalent to size, then what we'll do is we'll say this load module store item sizes query is this store item sizes get where update ID for each query loading up result as row, and then I'll just say item size equals row. Let me just remember what the name of that thing is. Store item sizes size it's called. Oh, there you go. Okay, and the value equals item size, and if not is set item size, then the item size is empty. Okay, so that's pretty much that. Otherwise, fetch the name of the color. Okay, so in this instance, the vibe would be something like this. And it would be store item colors. And I think the column name would be item color. And that's equal to row color. Something like that, okay? And everybody's screaming at this screen just now saying you could have done this with half the amount of lines. Well, maybe you probably could. I probably could, but you know, I'm kind of a bit tired. I just want to move on. Anyway, there we go. So item size, here we go. The item size is going to be this vibe here, get value. Okay, and the value type is going to be size. And the update ID is going to be, I might as well chuck this thing in here actually for size and color. So let me just do that. Size, color, and that one will be item size. And this one will be item color. Okay, so blah, 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 and that's item size. Okay, that's pretty good. Next, we'll do the color thing here. And it goes like this, and get size with color. Oh gee, item color. And that's it. That should be it. Thank you very much. If I return the data, there we go. We've now collected all of the data. It should be ready for an insert, okay? I moved it downstairs because I wanted to keep everything cool. And with a bit of luck, folks, that should be add to basket working. And I apologize for this video taking so long again, you know. But that should be it. That really, really should be it. Shall we give this a try? Okay, here we go. So I'll go to this. I think that was a failed attempt that I made earlier on. So we'll have a red guitar, and we'll have a large guitar, and we'll have two of them. Okay, and I'll do add to basket. It says well done, that's a good sign. And if we have a look at store basket, we can see that it's added in the item ID, the quantity. Now the price is not looking too good. So let me just check what's happening with price there. Item price, right, fetch the, right, okay, there's the problem, okay. So if we go to store items, do we have a thing for get the price? We don't, but that's okay. That's perfectly okay, because we can do something like take that and we can move this up here like so, and the item price is going to be item data item price. Okay, all right, that's okay. That's why we test things, folks, you know. I mean, come on, I'm not a marvel of modern day science here. All right, here we go again. So this time we'll go with a blue guitar and we'll have a small one and the quantity is 3. Well done. Here we go again. So this time you can see that the price has added. Everything looks kind of cool. USA, black, date added, shopper ID, excellent. Now one more test that I just want to do before this video is finished. And that is I want to test it when I'm logged in as a customer. So let's do Rambo Pass. Okay. And we'll go back to the home page and I'll get this bass guitar here with a quantity of 2. And it says well done. And if we browse, you'll see that the shopper ID equals 1. So that is fantastic. Now listen, folks, if you're wondering, the reason why I can't even remember if I said this before, because this is like my third take. I hope I'm not repeating myself. But the reason why we're adding in the title and the price and, you know, instead of just having an ID, let's say, and referencing another table, is because titles can change, prices can change, colours can change. That's how the universe works. So we need to add this stuff into the basket table so that it's all locked in and everything is cool. So, thank you very much. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.